that long day behind you, good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open, you'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we're the talk, the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk, the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk, the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk, the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
Welcome to Talk of the Tavern. This episode's topic is old dogs, new tricks. We'll get to that in a couple minutes. First, let me introduce myself and my vices. I am smoking out of a Canadian lumberjack pipe, Savinelli, and I've got it loaded with C&D Dark Cherry Cavendish, and I am drinking Henry McKenna bourbon. Nice, smooth, low price, perfect for the tavern. Now, let the... Sorry, Ed. I looked at you to introduce you and pass it over to you. I got all choked up, man. It's
I understand. I have that effect on white guys all the time.
What kind of weird, fucked up superpower is that shit?
Being black.
Joe says, old dogs, new tricks. Is this episode about elderly prostitutes getting on OnlyFans?
Don't ruin it yet.
Spoilers, asshole. Ed, introduce yourself. What do you got?
I am Ed. I am drinking Pinot Noir. I am munching on these little cheese-wrapped meat thingies, whatever the hell they are.
That's so good.
Yeah.
They're good. And since the wife isn't home, I'm smoking Marlboro Lights in the house, damn it.
He's such a rebel. Andrea?
Okay. Andrea Lachat here. And knitting a blanket because it's freezing. That's my vice. I got some sweet tea because that's what I do. And some cheese Pringles because yummy.
That's right. Now, a couple things about the show. This is an adult show with adult humor and adult topics. We drink, we smoke, we swear, and we laugh at shit we probably shouldn't. If that's not your thing, I don't know. Come around when I'm writing and just clicking on the keys. Let's see, what else we got here? Oh, I want to let everybody know who is listening to this in podcast. We have a live chat audience that is constantly giving us input. So you might hear us reading off their comments and their thoughts and their responses. For example, Robert of Wicked Clever. You can find him at wicked-clever.com. Check out his games and books there. Said that's a great intro. Dave is drinking Johnny Walker Green, not smoking tonight.
Ooh.
And apparently Joe is partaking of elderly prostitutes on OnlyFans.com, apparently.
Okay.
Oh, also drinking lime sparkling water. Oh, Joe has made it clear he is not part of the live audience. He's actually pre-recorded. Right, so for those of you in chat, we're going to read your comments and whatnot out on air, but only if they're relevant and entertaining. Please make sure it's at least one of the two. Both of them is better. Robert says, just drank whiskey too fast. It is gone. It's the Irish in you. What an Irishman is doing in you is none of our business. Let's move on. What kind of whiskey was it, though? You can't just say whiskey. That's really too broad. Now,
what kind of whiskey?
The topic, old dogs, new tricks. Maker's Mark. Okay, that's a reasonable one.
Okay.
Old dogs, new tricks. Throughout my life, there's certain things I've wanted to do, and because life gets busy, I haven't necessarily done them. So there's been things that I've started doing recently, and there's other things that I started a few years ago, including this show right here. It's something I started in 2007, went live onto pirate internet radio, and got a... What is it when multiple places run your show simulcast? Not simulcast. They do it with sitcoms, where they put it on multiple channels. You know that thing.
Simulcast.
No, not simulcast. It's
Okay.
Robert, help me out here. I know you know the word. Anyhow, and now we're
Syndicated?
syndicated. There we go. Thank you, Andrea. Well done. Robert got Cindy. Good for you. I have not done Cindy. So, right. And now here we are. We, in 2012, oh, Ed, thank you. Ed's making the, I want to drink something. How about a fucking toast? Here's what I'm going to say. Here's the opening toast. Here's to, once you're old enough, A, remembering that you wanted to do something. B, actually fucking going out and doing that thing. Here's to that.
Here.
And because we like to drink, we're also going to make Cogsley, our little show bot, give us a quote here. Okay, this is a good one. Cogsley supplied us with Don't Be a Cunt by Kevin Crew. There we go. Always a good rule.
Okay.
Here.
Here.
So there we go.
That's funny.
Okay. So now we discussed this a little bit before the show because Ed was like just shrugging, going, meh. But we discovered there are things he's done now that he hadn't done before. Besides,
That he kind of had to learn to do.
Right.
The hard way.
Yeah, it was.
And learned you don't want to do it again, which is a fair thing for...
No, you don't.
Yeah, I can do that. Doesn't mean I want to. So, Ed, let's just go around and name one thing that we've done later in life that was a brand new skill set or creative outlet. Ed, what about you?
Well, thanks to your help before the show, I bought a house that needed some work. It was livable the way it was, but it could be made better. And I have learned a lot about carpentry work later in life. I mean,
from your wife, because she's a fucking amazing carpenter.
From my wife, she's a hell of a good, but she can't do corners.
You mean
she
like
can't make corner cuts?
Cut the 45-degree angle thing?
Yeah,
Really?
it loses her.
It's fair enough. So house,
drinking.
what? You learned how to
Drinking.
drink when you were?
I learned how to drink later in life.
Now, what's that mean?
Well, growing up, you drink shit, right?
This is a
And
good
it
one.
wasn't until I was actually in my 40s that I discovered good wines. There are wines out there besides Boone's Farm Tickle Pink. I didn't know that. Who knew?
I don't think that relates to his fix-it-up house, but maybe it does. Maybe that explains why his wife can't do corners. I thought you were going to go with, like, putting down wood floors through your whole house.
Oh, yeah. I've learned to do wood floors. I've learned to do trim. I've learned to, well, I knew how to do trim.
Hey, welcome to the 70s. If you don't know what trim is, you're still pretty young.
Yeah, I've learned quite a bit about woodworking later in life.
How you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Andrea, what about you? Good night, Robert.
This.
Thank you for stopping in. Come back and
Hi,
see us.
Robert.
But before you go,
Good night,
Robert,
Robert.
what's one thing that you've learned how to do in your more recent years of life? So Andrea just held up her knitting.
It was after, when I was already in my 40s
Mm-hmm.
that I learned how to knit. So I've been doing this for just a couple years. I figure after 40 is later in life.
It is, yeah.
Oh, kickboxing.
Yeah,
Nice.
Robert threw up
Kickboxing.
kickboxing. That's something he
Cool.
picked up after 40. And he fucked up his shoulder and his leg.
See, I did the martial arts thing early in life so I could get that out of my
Yeah.
system.
Which-
So I didn't have to do that when I got old.
By the way, Dave said when I hit my 20s, I did a lot of things I was ashamed of as a kid, a.k.a. comic books, Magic the Gathering. And then he says, pardon me, my nerd is showing. The stuff that comes in a Oh, I'm sorry. He's now referring to wine. Stuff that comes in the box isn't the real thing. See, Joe says, I learned that I can write fiction. I didn't start until just a couple years ago because I never thought I could. And this is what we're talking about, which, by the way, Dave says the 46 is fantastic. I don't know if that's his age or it's one of the alcohols. See, and Jewel throws in there Twitch, Discord, and Zoom, and that's a fair thing, because when we hit a certain age, we grow resistant to technologies just because we've had to change it so many times. I mean, when we were young, we were the only ones in the house that knew how to program the goddamn VCR, let alone the answering machine and the universal remote. I remember the first time I saw your universal remote, I picked it up, I looked at it, I thought, this changes everything.
It
I
does.
picked it up, I tried to program it, and then threw the goddamn thing across the room.
Going back to 7 remotes. Good night, Robert. Thank you for joining us.
Good night, Robert.
For myself, a few things that I have learned besides how to run a podcast and a live stream and make covers for my own books, write and publish books. Spray paint art is one of those things. Those things you see guys doing on New York City street corners where they've got cans of spray painted canvas and they make this space scene. I learned to do that because I wanted to. And people are amazed and dazzled by what I did that I'm just like, eh. See, Gary here throws out, I shunned tech and especially computers. Got my first IBM ThinkPad computer at 40. Yeah, Gary is one of those guys I can now go to and go, tell me about Unix, tell me about this, tell me. And he's, being a few years older than me, I think, by the way, so everybody knows, I'll hit 50 this year. And Gary is 5 years older than me, a handful of years older than me, something like that. And he's a fucking tech guy now when it comes to computers. He knows what he's talking about. The only problem with Gary and his tech is he will not dumb it down for my slow ass so I can understand what he's talking about. He's just like, I know shit. Here's shit. And I'm like, shit don't mean nothing to me. So, is there anything you guys haven't done yet that you want to do?
Yes.
What, Andrea?
I would like to learn how to ski.
Really? Water
Oh,
ski?
I thought you was going to show us your little pink.
Oh, I know how. I'm learning that, but that's later. Gotta wait for that. No, not water ski. Are you crazy?
Yeah, well, maybe. What are you
I would
asking?
love. I want to go skiing. I want to go to the mountain and get in the snow and go on like the bunny slopes.
Yeah, I'll be the guy behind her in the inflatable tube going down and yelling "wee." I will do
That's
that.
me.
Ed, are you willing to do that with us if we go to like Massanutten or whatever it is?
That's funny.
I know, it's a great fucking name for a ski resort. Massanutten.
Well, Teresa just got the security contract there.
You'll be like, you on the inner tube behind the chick in the skates on the bunny slope. Get off the front. And Dave says, I'm young. I obviously have not much to contribute, you old bastard. Sure you do, Dave.
Why'd you call me that, Dave? Come on now.
She's not a bastard. She knows her parents. I'm the bastard. Ed, bastard would never fit you. Oh,
No.
I'm sorry. You know your heritage and your
Yeah, I knew
people.
them. Damn it.
Well, so you said what's something I want to learn how to do, and that's what I would like to learn how to do.
Right.
What about you? What is something you haven't done that you want to learn?
I am
how to
doing
do?
it. I am doing it. I love music. In
Mm.
since I was like in first grade, I started taking music classes, violin and chorus. Did that all the way through elementary. In middle school, they took away my violin because they didn't have an orchestra, and I picked up clarinet, and I hated it. But I could teach the first chair how to play the hard parts, even though I would like get D's in the class. So, and then of course it was choir and chorus, but I was so shy. To publicly perform was horrifying to me. Like in high school, I would take F's if I had to stand in front of the class, and they're like, "You'll fail the class." I'm like, "Then I will fail the fucking class." Doug, good to see you, man.
Good to see you, Doug.
So now, live on stream, I am learning how to play harmonica. What is that noise? Aw, Trin has showed up with a little host. Hey, Trin, how are you?
Hi, Trent.
I am learning how to play harmonica, and I'm going to do blues harmonica. I'm also
Okay.
going to learn how to play Native American flute, bamboo flute, a fife. If you don't know what that is, imagine that piccolo-looking thing that you see in like the colonial times. It's essentially a tin whistle in a flute form. Ed'll get that. Anybody who hasn't done Ren Fairs will be like, "Oh, what?" You know, Irish pub. Anyhow.
Well, that's something you're learning now, right?
Right. But I haven't started on the other things and violin.
Okay.
So this music stuff, because last year I kind of taught myself how to sing. Oh, I was so bad. And I never got good, but I got okay at it.
You got better.
Yeah, I got to the point where I could actually listen to myself and not go, the
When
fuck
it
is...
comes to music, I'd love to learn how to play native drums.
No, I have a borin. Do you need a borin? Because you could join our
No,
blues
I
band.
mean Native American drums.
Okay.
I'd love to get a good quality Native American drum. And hey, if you're going to learn how to play the native flute, maybe we can have a jam session sometime.
There you
know,
go.
something I just added, didgeridoo. I'm going to learn how to play didgeridoo, too.
That'd be cool. And when you do that, I need a boomerang.
You just want to throw shit at me and then have it again to throw it again. I'm going to read a few comments here real quick, guys, because I'm just excited about the idea of as we get older, we now take the time to learn these things that we always wanted to do that we just never put the time into. So Joe says, I'd love to learn how to make my own book covers. Gary asked to be printed like Photoshop and that kind of thing, and Joe says, yup, how to use. So I think that's a valuable skill set to learn and not terribly difficult.
It just takes some patience to learn it.
Yeah, it does. And by the way, Trin popped in. Trin is a great friend and a great supporter and a kick-ass moderator here. And here's to our moderators,
Trin.
but Trin in particular here. Here's to you, Trin.
Yeah. I'll drink to that.
So, now it's a damn shame Trin has to go, because I'd be curious. Now, Trin is younger, but what is she learning right now that she wants to learn that she hadn't when she was younger? Because this is something people think just because you're in your 20s, you're not an old dog yet. It all depends on the perspective. Jewel, you mentioned something earlier, Jewel. What? Oh, she mentioned Discord and all that stuff.
Zoom and yeah.
Well, funny story. You know, some in their 20s, early 20s, think they're old and wise because we took the kids out to dinner the other day for, Travis's son Aiden's 18th birthday, and my kid is 22, and he's like, I want to tell you something. I'm 22. You just turned 18. Cherish this because you can never go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said one day, the 22-year-old said to the 18-year-old, one day you'll be my age and you'll look back and wonder where the time went.
Oh my God. It was cute, but that was so funny.
Now, it was well meant, and we appreciate that.
It was.
But I reached under the table and grabbed Andrea's hand and gave it a little slightly too tight squeeze of, I'm going to say some shit any second now.
It was a touching moment for them, but I'm like,
Okay.
oh, that's great.
By the way, Trin, before heading off to bed, says, I wish I got into construction and building things, but my family and friends always told me that's a guy's job. Instead of baking
It's
like I
not.
did.
I know women that do it.
Yeah. She came in late. My wife is a hell of a carpenter, Trent.
Mhm.
It's not a guy's job, and she learned it all from her father.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dave says, it's so weird, but time goes so fast after you're 21 years old.
True.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you is when you're pre-21, you're still living in the moment. You're not planning for the future. You're not watching what comes next and what passed and what you missed and all this. You're just, and you don't realize it when you're that young, but you're just living in the moment, enjoying life. Once you're out on your own, you're kind of, you've got to set priorities. And the creative outlets, the crafts, the skill sets that you might have wanted to do, you don't have time to now because you're busy.
The bad thing about it is when you're young and you're starting out, you don't have any fucking money to do the things you want
Right.
to do.
See,
And then once you get older, you have the money, but you don't have the freaking time to do the things you want to do.
See, that's a fair point. One of my viewers here, Joel, I sent him pipes. He wanted to start smoking a pipe. So I sent him pipes and tobacco, which, honestly, the stuff I sent him was hundreds of dollars worth of stuff. But for me, not that I had that kind of money to burn, but this stuff was extra. And I could spare it. And you can still do things on the cheap. I mean, the harmonica, I bought 2 harmonicas to start learning harmonica. One is a $40 one. The other one is a $10 one by the same company. So you go to McDonald's, you fucking spend $10 for yourself. You could buy a goddamn harmonica. Now Andrea just started doing something else.
Well, I'm going to talk about that.
Let's talk about
God.
that.
She's gonna show us her little pink.
Yeah, baby. Too bad for the podcast people. They're gonna miss out on this shit.
It's not so little because my hand's too small for it. Why am I orange now?
You are orange, and you're looking very Princess Leia with your little buns in your hair and your white shirt. Now that you took your robe off.
All right, it's warm in here. Okay,
But-
so
Yes.
I've had no musical background because my family couldn't afford the stuff for me to take music, and chorus is like, please don't. I know my singing voice isn't good, and when I was in my 30s, I took up belly dancing.
And she was good at it.
I did that, and that was fun, and I did that, but I haven't done that for a while, so I'm like, okay, I want to do music, and I've been watching these videos, and I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I know it's going to be very difficult.
And
but
she went for the weirdest thing she could ever go for.
I think it's awesome. I mean, what is something that you don't see too many women doing this.
Right.
But when you do, you're like, oh.
So she bought a tuba.
What I saw.
No, I'm kidding.
No, that would be cool. So.
It's not a tuba.
I'm going to be learning bagpipes. And it is difficult, and I knew it would be difficult, but with my hands are small, so it's really hard. I just need more practice. So.
No,
and I'm like, okay, I want something
different. Can I interrupt real quick? Can we
Mm-hmm.
raise a glass to Ed real quick? For his contribution. Here's to Ed, who helped out with this endeavor. Thank you very much.
You're much welcome.
Well, see, I was talking to them about it, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to save up. Maybe I'll do a fundraiser. I'll do this. And I'm like, I really want to do this. I really want to do this. I've been practicing, watching the videos and doing the things, but, without the instrument. No, I haven't. And it got here a couple days ago. And I didn't want one like everybody else had. And I did my research. about the different products. So now, this is my chanter. This is what you learn bagpipes on, and I got a pink one.
It's a long pink one too.
Mm-hmm. So I'm very happy.
Do you hold on? I'm going to interrupt. Dave says
Mm-hmm.
I played bagpipes. I've played
Oh,
bagpipes. Honestly, the hardest part is learning the breathing with the bag. You can do it, Andrea.
you're local. You're kind of local,
Yeah,
right?
he hangs out at Jersey Cards and Comics with John. And Trin is heading off. Let me read her comment real quick. When you change colors, she says Andrea is secretly trying to hide the fact that she's a demon hiding all the red evil stuff.
Don't tell everybody.
Joe, I did not belly dance with Andrea or at all, but I met her the very first time.
That's how we met.
Yeah, that is how we met.
At a Ren Fair.
I've never seen her dance. I've seen pictures, stills, but I've never seen her dance.
I have video.
She also does flaming hula hoops.
Woohoo! Yeah, baby.
I have swords because I would have the sword on my head. I would do all of that too, which is cool. But this is my new endeavor. And Dave, you're kind of local. I really want to pick your brain because I'm watching videos and I'm doing stuff, and it's really hard for me to find any female pipers that show instruction or someone I could talk to about instruction for hand placement because it's very awkward. I don't know. I have questions. If you want to talk, cool. Need advice. Yay, bagpipes.
Okay. So Dave has responded saying, my younger cousin is very good with bagpipes. I'm decent. It is very intimidating compared to what it is to play them. So, Dave, at another point in time, Andrea may reach out to you, whether it's dinging you on Discord or here or whatever. Andrea, Trin has asked for a video of you hula hooping in fire. That sounds so cool.
Don't have any.
Here's what I'm going to tell you, Trin. Next time you visit, I think, Andrea,
just talk to me next time.
You still have the stuff, yeah?
No.
No? Well,
No.
We'll go to Maryland and visit Hula Hoops.
Mhm.
And yeah.
But I know you still have belly dance outfits.
I do.
Right?
Oh gosh.
So next time you visit,
It's not in the middle of winter. It's too cold. It's not in the middle of winter.
It's he'll clear out the indoor floor. So Ed, has there been anything you've wanted to do that you haven't?
Well, you mentioned it pre-show, and I don't know that we'll ever get around to doing it. I want to hike the Appalachian Trail, and we've pretty much decided, even if we don't do the whole thing, we're going to do all of Virginia, which is 1/4 of the trail. So
that's a lot.
I just need to get my fat ass back in shape.
Now, there was something. How old were you when you started kayaking?
30s probably.
Okay.
See, went to Nags Head to the beach for vacation, and it's like every other vehicle seemed like it had a kayak on it, and I was like, I want to do that, and came right home and bought a kayak, man, and I have owned as many as 7 kayaks at one time. I'm down to 2 now, but yeah, loved it. Took to it right away.
Mm-hmm. And he got me into it. I very much enjoyed it. I have since got rid of my kayaks because Andrea is not a water person. So, we're going to go spend time together.
But I didn't tell him he can't go.
No, she absolutely didn't. I just, I'm not going to go on an outing and just, be like, you guard the tents. We'll be back in 6 hours.
I can do that, though.
Well, then it's a possibility. It's
Well, you went on with one of our trips.
a couple
right,
of them.
Travis?
Couple of them.
Yeah, and when we used to do the Shenandoah River, there were people that would do that. They just stay at the campsite while the rest of us went out on the water. Yeah.
See, and that is
Fun
viable.
times.
She just couldn't watch us launch into the water.
Water phobia, it's just...
Joe points out Andrea's a fire person.
Fire. Yeah. I'm more of an earth, stay on dry land person.
Something else that I'm going to start doing. That I have most of the materials. I'll probably pick a couple more. I'm going to learn how to oil paint, like Bob Ross.
Teresa just started that.
Did she really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it'll be something I could bond with her. By the way, it just not that it matters, but his wife and I share a birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exact same day. Yeah.
yeah, there's something that we can.
Well,
Mhm.
see, because for winter holidays, I got him a bunch of stuff to start doing Bob Ross
Mhm.
paintings. So when we go out there, y'all can paint.
Yeah.
Ed and I can belly dance. It's okay.
Okay. I got a lot of belly to dance.
Then they'll come back and be like, "Why'd you oil paint belly dancers?" And we're like, "Really?" We got a lot of raw footage on our phones too.
What's up with that fat guy?
You know what? That's me, Ed. It's hard to don't be cruel.
Well, something that I wanted to learn how to do that I started last year, composting. And I did research and I built a compost pile and I did all that. And outside where the compost pile is, the grass is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Dave says, not related, I play guitar. That's my thing. If you want to collab with harmonica belly dancing, I'm in. Can you do some blues type stuff, Dave? Because that's really what I want to focus on with the harmonica in particular.
I hear a party coming on.
Yeah. I'm hearing here if the ground ever fucking dries out, unlike last year. We get a bunch of people here. We get Sula. We get some flame dancers. We get some harmonica and guitar going, and some bagpipes.
Maybe I'll be able to play something by then.
You know what? If we jam Mary Had a Little Lamb for 10 minutes, whatever.
That would be like so cool.
Yeah, I don't care. It doesn't have to be House of the Rising Sun. It could be whatever.
I'm just trying to be able to use the chanter so it doesn't sound like a duck call.
It does.
It does. It sounds like a duck call. And I found because my fingers can't cover the holes properly.
So, Dave, here's what I'll tell you. By the end of the year, if I stick to this, I will be pulling up a program I have to run Bagpipes, and I will lay down some tracks of blues harmonica. So if we have you on guitar, were you really a George Thorogood cover band right up there? Now, by the way, let me ask you, how long ago was college? I don't need to know your age, but if that was 6 months ago, then you're hot and fresh. If it was 20 years ago, well, you got some memories.
We'll all blend in.
That's right. I just love the concept of doing something different. Andrea, as she mentioned, the compost, she's also started gardening. Now that she has
She's
a
going
yard.
to learn how to can.
Yeah, we are going to learn that this year.
Well, I've done it before, but it's not like you guys do. And I've had gardens before, but not like what I'm going to do this year. So, very excited.
She's looking at potential greenhouse stuff now.
Speaking of George Thorogood, something I learned later in life, or I guess I should say discovered later in life, there are good bourbons out there.
It's true. It's true.
Which I just discovered a couple years ago. I'd just known about Jim Beam and Jack Daniels, which
I never enjoyed.
Never enjoyed it. And you could never get me to drink bourbon because Jim Beam and Jack Daniels.
Right.
But then I discovered, somebody mentioned in a previous episode, Woodford Reserve. I actually got to visit their distillery.
Nice.
When I was in Kentucky, passing through Kentucky a few years back, and I had a sip of the bourbon, and I was like, I love bourbons now.
Yeah.
Screw Scotch, which costs $200 a bottle now. I can get a good bottle of bourbon for $60.
Ed, have you tried the Henry McKenna yet?
I think so. I think with you here at the house one time.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I might have to bring you a bottle because it's not a great bourbon, but it's a good bourbon, especially for $25.
Well, we've done some good bourbons on the show.
We have.
I think that might have been one of them.
Bowman Brothers.
Mm.
We did Bowman Brothers. I just picked up a bottle of John J. Bowman's the other day, and I'd love to find a bottle of Abraham Bowman's. If there's somebody here that works in a
Fredericksburg.
ABC store that can get me one,
Hey, we could just go to their distillery in Fredericksburg.
Yeah, let's do that.
Once everything opens back up and we can do that. Jefferson's.
It might be.
Dave says try Jefferson's. It's very good.
Yeah, Dave, I have had Jefferson's. It's pretty good. Yeah,
I heard
good.
Jefferson's is moving on up.
Oh, really?
To the top. They're going to get a piece of that pie.
No, to
The east side?
Whatever. Now let's sing. Let's sing the Sanford and Son tune.
There's no words to the Sanford.
I'm hearing it in my head.
You don't need words. You know what I never realized is this theme song to Welcome Back Kotter was actually a song that was on the radio at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I just thought it was the sitcom theme song, and then I heard it on Pandora or something in the past few months. I'm like, wow. Okay, Dave says Abraham is very limited, but if I get any, I will set it aside for you, Ed. Dave, you let us know.
I will drive down there and get that shit.
Or you let Andrea and I know. We'll go pick it up and we'll get it.
We're a little
most
closer.
of the bottle to them when we go see them.
It's expensive, Travis.
We got PayPal.
Okay.
Depending how
That's right.
expensive and how the week is. Some weeks, no big deal. And if it's that expensive, then you might miss 1 ounce out of the bottle. But if it's that expensive, I will not be drinking more than that. And I might just wait till I'm sitting in front of you so you can share it with me instead.
Absolutely.
Because that will be a more pleasurable experience anyway. And that's something else to look at, guys, is learning to appreciate the finer things in life, whether it's a good restaurant. What's that?
I'm with people.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I really appreciate naps.
Mm.
When I was younger, I did not.
And she's become quite skilled at them.
Oh.
But also, something we've tried recently is a fondue restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's not just melted cheese.
Oh.
And
I didn't know that.
it's expensive compared to going to Outback or Fridays or whatever, but it's an experience. You know, and it's more than just going out to eat.
I mean, I had something that makes me cry every time I have it.
Mm.
It's worth it.
Banana Foster's fondue.
Oh, just tear up.
Hey, there's John of Conquest Publishing. Good to see you,
Hey,
man.
John. Oh, crap. I need to pour some more liquor so I can toast John.
Exquisite cheese to you too, John.
He's got the weirdest greetings, doesn't he? John, we were just talking about visiting you. It's, we're at least going down to that area. So, yeah, it's worth looking at these things however old you are. And learning these new skill sets of things that you want to do or experience that you didn't put the time into before.
Well, and for some of the younger listeners, viewers, that doesn't have a lot of money, because I remember those days.
Yeah, not too long ago.
You know, before the kids left and all that stuff. Just learning how to be by yourself. That's a skill. Not everybody possesses that.
And by the way,
well, not everybody can do it.
be by yourself means turn off the TV, turn off the phone. Ed does this with camping. And yeah, it's a wonderful reset button of life.
It's difficult though. Until you do it often, it's difficult.
It does take practice in this world that we live in nowadays, where we have constant input bashing us in the face every moment. To sit and be by yourself. I mean, try to take an hour drive without the radio going, and just and try not to be in your head at the same time. Try just to
Yeah.
experience the moment.
Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
Okay, watch Road 2, dork. Um, John says turning off the boob tube is easy. Yeah, I've never had a problem. It's part of the reason I enjoy pipes and cigars, because there's times I will go out to the front porch
Same here.
and I may turn on music, but it's music without commercials, and I just sit there and enjoy a smoke. Or mowing the lawn on my riding mower. 2 hours on a mower with cigars and music. That is a beautiful me moment.
Yeah, gardening. I don't need music. Just gardening and nature. I like that. Can't do that right now.
Mm-mm. And if the rain levels keep up, there's only gonna be like 18 square feet of the yard where you're gonna be able to do it.
Did you
It'll
get
be
rain
back on the
today?
porch.
We got snow.
We got rain. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
We still have snow like in the yard though. I needed to go out to the shed for something. I'm like, I don't want to swim, so I didn't go out there.
John says gardening. I need $20.
I don't understand.
Explain, Lucy.
That's right.
What?
It's
Let me explain.
What you talking about, Willis?
There is too much. Let me sum up.
we're pausing a moment and staring at chat, going,
Yeah.
"What's
Come
that
on,
mean?"
John.
To pay somebody else to do it, and thank you for those bits, Kelp Dove.
Come on.
X300.
I was just telling somebody today. I was convinced when I was a kid that the only reason why my dad had children was to have somebody to work the garden.
How do you feel about it now?
I haven't had a garden since I was an adult.
But your wife wants one
Well,
now,
there you
yeah? Or she has one?
Yeah, Teresa plants little things here and there now, but that's her thing, not me.
Yeah, and actually, that's how it is with Andrea and I, too. I have no interest in gardening. But if she wants to garden, I'll take my art supplies outside and put up the pop-up tent. And I'll do some painting while she's gardening, so we can chit-chat the whole time if she wants.
Just like I'm not taking care of the yard.
That's true. That's true. And again,
I'll ride the lawnmower once in a while just because it's fun, but
if the
no.
rain
You
doesn't
like the
stop,
vibration, huh?
Yeah.
if the rain doesn't let up, ain't nobody taking care of the yard this year. We're gonna have a lovely all-natural bush.
That's okay too.
It is.
That's what she said.
It is. And I tell you what, when we let the yard grow up, we get beautiful wildflowers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because
Yeah, he's talking about.
I know what we're talking about.
And the perfume is great.
Oh my god.
I have no appropriate sounds to play right now off my soundboard.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Something I recently just did for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if I should talk about this on air or not with the climate of things, but I just built my first AR-15.
Yeah, I think we could talk about that.
Nice.
Because I know you've been like collecting parts for a while now, yeah?
Yeah.
And this is something I'm
Okay.
interested in doing also. And then again, Ed, we can also come out here and set up a target in my yard
Oh, cool.
and fire
Leave the
in
neighbors
my
out.
yard. Yes, we will point it away from the neighbors because we don't need a competition. Go. Mm. So,
Well,
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Andrea.
I was gonna say, well, it's good that on one side is a bunch of trees, on the other side is a cemetery. It's all right.
Any way it goes, we got someplace to put bodies. So did you do any kind of special paint job or finish, or I'm probably
Yeah, I
phrasing it
did.
wrong. Say again.
Yeah, I did. I did a special finish on it. I did a camouflage finish on it, and literally just finished an hour before the show tonight.
Do you want to show it off?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
He can't find it. It's camouflage.
I don't know where I put it. So there's some music I'm learning now, and I will put down some tracks by the end of the year probably. So this is kind of bucket list type stuff. But I've always felt like a bucket list shouldn't be a bucket list. It should be a to-do list for life. Not waiting till you're almost out. By the way, Dave just said piano is easy enough.
You need to move the cat. You're sounding kind of muffled.
Am I?
There you go.
Or do you mean this? Now, Dave, are you saying piano, comma, man is easy enough? Or the song piano? Okay, you mean the song Piano Man. It's,
Okay.
we can look at that. Heaven knows I can't fucking sing it. I tried. Billy is out of my range.
I
have
could sing it. People ask me not to.
I'll just do a good bluesy version, and it's
There
my
you go.
my vocal tone is much more Johnny Cash than Billy Joel, but I love Billy Joel. He's probably one of my favorite performers ever.
It is. He listens to him all the time.
Well, I'll have to look into it because I do have a couple books here, but I'm only on my third practice of harmonica, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
I can understand all the songs.
It's all good, Dave. It's all good.
What are you gonna say, Andrea?
I was going to say, I can understand all the songs you have played.
It's
I can
true.
recognize them.
They're just not up to
I
speed
hope,
yet.
I hope to get to that.
And I was able to get to that on the first time I picked up the harmonica. But it is like London Bridge, Mary Had a Little Lamb. And Doug says, I'm in the process of trying to do something I've wanted to do all my life, creative writing. And that is something I do. I don't know how good I am. I mean, if we grab my measure of financial success, I suck. If we grab the opinions and feedback I get, I'm pretty good. And I definitely enjoy it. So,
But here's the thing. You've done it. And you do it for you. If other people have issues with it, have they done it?
it's one thing I always ask
That's
people
how I
is,
look at it.
what do you want to do with this? And then if they're like,
Now,
uh-huh.
I was going to say, if Stephen King or one of these big people come to you and say, hey, you need to get better, or you need to do something, maybe take in consideration, but just an opinion.
Well, here's what I do know. As much as so many people loved Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey, I know I write better than that.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. And those weren't...
And I think for you, it's just a matter of not enough people finding your work.
It's
that's-
exposure.
It's that simple. Exposure, yeah.
That is something that I always tell a lot of people is it doesn't matter how talented you are. You could be the most talented writer out there. If the right people, that perfect storm, doesn't show up, if Oprah doesn't put you on her reading list or whatever, but it just takes that one thing. And I have to remind myself of that often enough too, is don't stop because you haven't hit a level of success.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep getting better at it until you do.
Right.
Well, I've followed what you've been doing over the years, and you're gaining on it. You're getting more exposure, and more profit, and give it a little bit of time. You're progressing.
My daughter loves your writing.
I've got to get her. Oh, I got hardback books now, Ed. Did I tell you that?
Oh, oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
the Portals and Journal of a Stranger are out in hardback now, and I'm going to do
Okay,
Silver and Smith Chronicles in hardback.
okay.
A lot of my other stuff, I don't think I'm going to bother to put into hardback because it doesn't quite fit it. If that makes
Right.
any sense.
It does. Yeah, yeah.
It's
But
thank you,
definitely
Gary.
portals, the journal of stranger. Yeah.
Appreciate that, Gary. Gary threw some bits there. Um, Dave, we appreciate that.
If you can find me that one thing, I will be a happy man. My daughter is 32, Joe.
Yep, all of our children that we know of, um, amongst the three of
Yeah, I
us,
might have some out there. I don't know.
walking down the street. Wait, was that me? Nah, keep walking. Hey, Andrew, did you drop something? Mm-mm. Nope. Mm-mm. Anybody got a pocket knife, pair of scissors? We need to cut this. Um, welcome to the tavern. So yeah, all of our kids are now officially adults. Mm.
Yeah, crazy.
Hell, I've got grandkids as old as your son, Travis.
There you go. True story. It's and Ed's
Wow.
only like 5 years older than me. It's I just started later in life.
Try 6.
Whatever. It's I never remember. You know, it doesn't actually matter until we're counting numbers. Uh, Dave, I appreciate that. Dave says I bought Portals. Once I find time, I'll read and review it. Absolutely appreciate that, man. And
Nice.
no pressure or whatever. Just the more people talking about it, the more people hear about it, the more things happen. And that goes for anything in life. But it's important
Yeah.
to do these things in life for yourself. It's well, Doug, it's available in ebook, paperback, and now hardback. So
Hmm.
I'm excited about that. It's
It's really neat.
it is for me, that's for sure. Though I have realized there's one book I probably should take off market because, like Talk of the Tavern 6 years ago, there's some things you just don't say anymore. And I have a book out there under a pen name that I probably should take down. Or maybe I shouldn't. It's hard to
It's a,
say.
it's a pen name. Go ahead. Leave it there.
It's
It's
funny.
all good, Dave. John says nope. It's
Nope.
yeah, it's very Joe, it's an off-color humor book. It's definitely adult humor. Um, so yeah, it. I'll tell you after the show. How about that?
After the show. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of the show, let's do some closing thoughts here on this whole
Oh
topic of
wow, that was a
old
quick
dogs, new
hour.
tricks. It flies by. We did okay. Ed,
Yeah.
you got some closing thoughts on this here?
Oh, the old cliche. It's never too late to learn. Try it. If it goes through your head and you want to try it, try it. You know, try it.
Why not?
Andrea?
Like Nike says, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
The only one stopping you is you. Maybe money, but mostly you.
That's true. And also, you can do a lot of this stuff on cheap. You just have to prioritize. Maybe you don't eat out for a couple weeks. Maybe you don't whatever. Whether it's kayaking, which can cost a while to
Mhm.
save up that money. Um,
But there's always rentals.
there is. Or camping. If you want to pick up camping as a hobby, it costs a little bit, but you space it out. Start buying your shit in the winter. So by the time the spring gets there, you've got what you need. Find some friends to do this with. If it's a musical instrument, they're not always cheap. I chose something inexpensive to start with. But once I move to violin by the end of the year, I'm going to get food's a good hobby. John, you're not wrong. Eating well and appreciating the finer things in life, whether it's a good bourbon or eating fondue or whatever, it's worth experiencing those things. But go into these things for the experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to enjoy them more, no matter what the end result is. It's your enjoyment and appreciation for it. And that's so important for anything in life, because when you leave, music is great, both on a path, lifelong hobby that's enjoyable. I'll agree to that. Thank you for those bits, Dave.
Cheer.
Absolutely.
X300. Music is great. You both are on a path to a lifelong hobby that is enjoyable.
I love that Cogsley read it off as Okay, let's wrap this up. Let's get a closing toast here. We'll do two again. We'll do one from us and one from Cogsley. Coffee is my hobby. That's actually a great hobby, and Andrea recently got an espresso machine, and it's changed her way she enjoys that hobby.
I experienced that espresso machine. Yeah,
You did. You did. And Ed's not a coffee connoisseur by any means, but he noticed the damn difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and then he
The
was
caffeine difference.
jittery for the next 12 hours. Yeah, it's never too late. If you have a passion that you haven't tested yet, make it happen. That's all there is to this. Here's to enjoying those things wherever you are in life. Now, let's see what wise words Cogsley can throw up for us. No, Cogsley, we already had that one earlier. Let's not do that one again. Damn it. Fucking bots are so unoriginal. Now he's going to make me wait. He's like, no, we got a timeout. There we go. Success isn't always about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come. And that's a quote from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Here's to that.
I'll go to that.
Yeah, I like that guy. Okay, let's do some outro shit. I want to thank everybody for hanging out. Don't forget, you can email us at talkofthetavernshow@gmail.com. That's talkofthetavernshow@gmail.com. Let us know your passions that you're exploring at this point in time in life. What new tricks you're learning, you old dog. And you can also let us know if it's your birthday or somebody else's birthday that you'd like us to read out those birthday wishes on air, or just a special message of, screw you, I hate you, you're a... Nope, let's not do that. Thank you, everybody, for throwing all the bits, subscribing, supporting the channel, the podcast in all the ways, downloading the podcast, listening to it, and telling your friends about it. Always appreciated. And thank you for the financial support through subs and bits and Patreon and PayPal and every other thing. Let's get out of here and see what the next show brings next time. Have a great one, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us in
Good
the
night.
discussion of shenanigans tonight. You are the one thing that makes the show what it is. Don't forget to join us at the Tavern next week. Until then, have fun, keep learning, and be good to one another. Now, raise your glass in good cheer. Enjoy the small moments every day and steamy dreams every night.